Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. It's not talking crit, it's not gamers health, it's not the random party, it's not Dungeons, Dragons, and Discourse. And it's not Inappropriate Characters, which would have been at 7 o'clock tonight. But real world issues kept that from happening, so I was like, I could do no live stream. Always an option. I could do this at 7, but I was like, let me get this in at 4:30 because Glenn and I are not going to be able to do our tavern chat lives during the week because North Texas, I arrive Wednesday afternoon with Rach. Rach and I have doctor's appointments on Tuesday. My father has one tomorrow on Monday. So really, the opportunity to get a live stream in before North Texas was this. And I said, what the heck? Go for it. We're there. Thaitis, Death Angel, welcome. Matthew, good to see you. So I figured, let me get the live stream in. And this is not that we do a little behind the scenes peek. We don't do a huge amount of prep for the live streams, okay? I know some live streams do a lot of prep. They've got all these talking points, little behind the scenes stuff. When it comes to talking crit with me, Jim, and Bad Mike, we talk during the week. Maybe we bring up, hey, I think I want to talk about this. Usually Mike just goes over my videos and says, hey, I want to talk about what I covered about Dark Sun or whatever it is I covered during the week. Jim is the one that actually does a little show prep on Wednesday nights. Like I said, peek behind the screen. For the Thursday lives with Don and Tom. And by the way, you should be subscribing not just to my channel, but the Wizard. Is he doing it under the Wizard Tower Games? Or is he doing it under the Vlog of Many Things? I think it's the Vlog of Many Things. But you should be subscribed to Don's channel and you should be subscribed to Tabletop Tap Room because we're all doing stuff together. You'll miss stuff if you aren't wired in across the board. Friday nights, Glenn and I people love Glenn. Glenn is a master of improv. There you go. An intro and an outro. Death Angel, you come on. Listen, the intro for Thursday nights on Don's show. I know Don loves it. I don't like that's like too professional. You really want an intro? You may have to do it yourself. I mean, listen, I'm gonna, this is what we're working with until I turn on the faux background and then I get my bookshelf behind me. This is it. Okay, my tech abilities are long dormant. I haven't built a computer probably close to 20 years. I'm a Mac individual now. I've moved my family to Macs and iPads. Makes my life of tech support so much simpler. Oh my God. But it also means that, I like things simple. So if you want to do an intro and we're not going to do an outro. But if you want an intro, talk to me off screen. We'll discuss it. Hey, hey, I mean, at this point, this channel is relatively self-sufficient. And what do I mean by that? Again, peek behind the screen. Um, I pay for Restream, and I used to pay for Restream to do the shorts. I'm not paying another service. It's all the same. I'm paying for those things. No, Death Angel, I haven't watched the Babylon 5 live stream every one. I can't. I can't. How can I watch that? I got my own live stream. I can watch it. I can watch the replays. There. Send me a link on social media. I'll look at it, but not this week. Remember, I got North Texas Wednesday through Monday, and then I got Central New York Con Friday through Monday the next weekend. Gonna be just a wee bit busy. Now, this channel, like I said, is self-funding between, and no, folks, YouTube advertising doesn't pay the bills. Okay, that's just honesty. I know I've seen comments, whether it's about this channel or other channels, like, oh, they like clickbait titles, and I don't really do clickbait, but they do clickbait titles because they want those, thousands of views. Well, first off, there aren't generally thousands of views. The shorts are, but the views, on a good day, you're making $4, $5 from advertising. It's not huge. Those of you that are members, from the $1.99 folks through Zach Glazer, I believe Zach's at 25. You're helping pay the bills. You're keeping this channel strong, and I really do appreciate the support. When we have affiliate links, you use those affiliate links. You're helping support this channel. We've bought in the past headsets for Mike and a microphone for Glenn, and I'm not raking in the big dough from YouTube. Okay, I'm just saying, I'm not raking in the big YouTube dollars. I make, and this is my affiliate sales on drive-thru. So if you go to the blog multiple times a week, there's articles about deals of the day or free OSR or whatever. But the blog is what actually makes most of the money for this channel. Scary, ain't it? But I reinvest much of the monies that you all put in, whether it is Restream software, whether it is the software for the shorts. I'm not going to do AI videos. I've had it suggested to me. Ain't happening. Sorry. And Matt, packing bags, finding books to get signed. I really should do that. North Texas is the place to get books signed. Just saying. The number of special guests for the number of attendees is amazing. You'll find them. They'll have the free time. I believe Kelsey Dion should be there. James Raggy should be there. Blades and Arcana. Yeah, I'll bring it. I'll sign it. I'm happy to do so. Death Angels. Maybe one of these years I'll get back to Texas. Thinking about going to this Mystic Con in Charlotte. Chuck from Trollord Games suggested it. I am a huge fan of conventions, and unlike others in the sphere, I've never been banned from one yet. Don't plan to. Maybe there's one out in like the Midwest that probably wouldn't want me because of my association with another con that's on the same weekend, so it's probably a non-issue anyway. But no, this year I'm going to 6 conventions. I believe that is the largest number of conventions that Rach and I have attended in a year, in a calendar year, I should say. Pretty spot on. And I am very. If you would ask the teenage me who got into gaming at the age of like 12, 13, and at like 18 was like writing my own like version of dungeon board game because I wanted to be a game designer. If you had asked me back then, do you think you'll ever be a special guest at gaming conventions? And this year, not only am I a special guest at gaming conventions, two of the cons are comping rooms for me. That is beyond anything I ever would have expected from, I don't want to call it a career, but from my interest in gaming, from my support of the hobby, I never would have guessed that would have been in my future. So I consider myself very blessed. Base D&D, welcome. Uh, I worked with a lot of veterans. Always as a cop, as a sergeant, knowing that I had a veteran in the field, always meant that I had somebody out there that I knew could handle his shit without calling the sergeant right away, which was good. You knew it was in good hands. So, but yeah, I got to start pack. I guess later on tonight I'll start the packing. Rach was good. She did the PreCon wash marathon, and we got to pack our bags. We got our flights around 11:15, 11:30 on Wednesday morning, and it's going to. This is our first North Texas was 2014, which is pretty much 30 years after my one and only Gen Con. I only went to 2 conventions before I went to North Texas for the first time in 2014. And the quick story for that is that Joe the lawyer, I'll tell you how long I've known Joe for. Joe the lawyer was supposed to room with me. We were supposed to share a room at North Texas. And that was going to be our first time in North Texas for either one of us. And Joe had car problems and had to buy a new car. And we had to buy a new car. Con went out the window. And then Rach was like, well, we never really had a full honeymoon. We had like a mini moon. We went away for like 4 days in the Poconos. She's like, I'll go to Texas. I'll explore. I'm sorry, but if you've never been to Texas and you're from New York, I guess you think you could explore. But New York City is built on mass transit. New York City is built on convenience. Uh, Outskirts of Dallas is not. Outskirts of Dallas is just flat, random shit. So needless to say, she was not going to be going anywhere. She thought she was. I do have friends out in Texas from my MMO days, and they actually came out on, I guess it was Sunday, and took us out to lunch. It was very nice. Joe had the big live stream with Rob on Wednesday night. See, your live stream Wednesday, my live stream Wednesday, Joe's live stream on Wednesday. He had Rob on because Rob's Kickstarter was kicking off, and it's doing very well. Actually, I should check. The majestic wilderness. All right, your job, if you choose to accept it. Not that this is a mission impossible. But Rob's Kickstarter, The Majestic Fantasy Realms, The Northern Marches, is currently at $19,851. I'd love to see it break 20,000 before the live stream is over. So I'm putting that in the chat. Matt, well, you'll be at the hotel before Rach and I are, because you'll be there before we probably even leave New York. So search me out. And if you don't recognize me from the show, search me out because of my wife, who's got as blind as you're going to find. All right. Now, it's funny. Rach has gone with me to every game convention I've gone to but one, and that was GaryCon 2016 because that was my first GaryCon. I was a last minute invite. I got to share a room with Zach Glazer and Bad Mike, and it was interesting, to say the least. But I went out there without Rach, and I love going to these things with Rach because she will game, and she will engage, and she just likes to socialize like I do. Yeah, Rob's Kickstarter looks awesome. I suspect he should come in around 35, 40,000 in the end, which, by the way, a successful Kickstarter for Rob means that next year he'll be at North Texas. So next year's North Texas should be most of the personalities that you see on this channel. Flint and the Chubby Funster will be there this year. Next year, Joe the Lawyer and hopefully Rob. And if Rob goes, maybe Tim. Throw it out there. If there's a chance of it, we shall see. But it's going to be interesting. This year should be fun too. I always love North Texas. I missed it during the year of COVID, and that hurt. But yeah, I've not missed it since. And I wish I'd been there from the beginning, but I didn't know folks there in the beginning, and there's a lot of overlap between. All right, you have the RPG community at large, and then within the RPG community at large, you have the D&D community, and then within the D&D community, you have the OSR community. Right? These are all subsets. They're almost exclusive. Like the OSR often doesn't like the at-large D&D community. God forbid the 5e community. All these subsets, but you have subsets that aren't just that. You've got YouTubers, you've got bloggers, you've got people that use forums. And a lot of these subsets overlap, but some do not. Some people just do forums. If you're into gaming and you go into conventions, you're probably part of some aspect of the social media or multiple. And our first North Texas, we got there on a Wednesday, and it was quiet. And Rach was all excited about using the pool, and we go into the pool. And there's one other person in the pool. And Rach's like, oh, he's got to be here for the con. He's got to be. And Rach, like a proud wife, was like, are you here for the convention? He's like, yes. Oh, so you must know my husband. Now, remember, this is before I was doing YouTube videos, before I was doing podcasts. Nobody had heard my voice. Nobody had seen my face. But in this case, the individual hadn't read my blog. She goes, Tenkar, who? Eric Tenkar, who? Tenkar's Tavern, who? And as this conversation is going on, I interrupted and I said, you are a forum individual, right? You read forums. He goes, yeah. Which forums? He was like Dragon's Foot and like OD&D 74 or something like that. And I had explained to Rachel that they don't always overlap. People find where they're comfortable to enjoy their hobby. We all enjoy the same hobby, but how we interact with it is often different. And I think Rach didn't understand that. And she was just excited that her husband had one of the larger blogs, and I'll tell you, back in 2014, 2015, my blog was getting thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of hits a day. Now it's multiple hundred, and it's not because of anything else than human nature changes, civilization advances or moves, and people are consuming their media differently. N-World is like, I was doing traffic comparable to N-World at one point. N-World now is doing less traffic than it used to, for sure. But I'm nowhere near N-World's traffic on my blog side. But I enjoy doing the blog. It's still a lot of fun. But I enjoy doing these YouTube videos, even the live streams more. And thank God for Restream and the embedded chat. Because if it wasn't for the embedded chat, I couldn't do a solo live. No way. Because to do a solo live, I got to be able to interact with the community, the commenters. And having to rely upon me, I don't know, highlighting a post like I'm doing now. And no, Restream embeds the chat right on the page, right on the screen. And I think that, strangely enough, one of the best things that StreamYard did was more than double their subscription price, because by doing so, they pushed me and others to try other services. And bang for your buck, Restream offers more than StreamYard does. That's my opinion. Yeah, so and I love Rob. He didn't explain things too well because he can be a bit too verbose, and by being too verbose, it confuses things. So the $40 tier is everything in PDF plus a print on demand for Black March. The $60 tier, I believe, is everything in PDF plus print on demand for the marches. So $60 is where you want to come in at. Now, Rob is also, with this Kickstarter, pretty much putting the meat and potatoes for his setting out into the Creative Commons. So he's encouraging others to build upon his work. That is simply amazing. Truly. And Rob understands it. Rob gets it. Now, this is June 1st, so theoretically, I should be able to give away some memberships. And what better way than give away memberships than to give it away? I'm going to have to mute myself for a second. To give some memberships away to people who are willing to come onto a Sunday afternoon live stream on short notice and catch whatever handful aren't actually members. So let's see. I do have 10 to gift. Let me send 5 now. Okay. So, Box Office Jack, P. Scrag, Dad, Off Grid Gamer, Kim Winson, welcome to the membership has its privileges part. Yes, that sounds great. You're in for 2 months. By the way, and this is not something that I've mentioned yet. I didn't decide I was doing this until a few days ago. Later on this month, I'm going to be getting a shipment of business cards. But really what it ends from other knickknacks. So what I'm going to be doing is these are 10 cars Tavern business cards on very heavy paper. And on the back, it's going to be very plain, but it's going to have a membership number. So if you've been a member and you've been a member for, generally speaking, longer than a month, I'm not sure we're going to cut it off at. Probably going to start at 3-month membership. I will reach out to members via the posts on YouTube and ask for your address. Membership cards can be shipped anywhere because I have international postage, and they ship in an envelope, and I can just ship them out. And they're a fun little perk. I did this something similar shortly after I retired in 2016, and I do have people occasionally come up with me to me at conventions and show me their membership card. So I'm gonna. I already ordered them. They should be arriving in about 2 weeks. So when I have them, I'll show them on the channel. So now, next live streams. Oh, actually, Don's going to be out. Don Samara is also going to be at North Texas. So Wednesday we do Talking Quit at North Texas. If you want to see random special guests, random personalities from North Texas, this Wednesday, I'm assuming it's still going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, is the time to check in. It's going to be low tech, but probably a pisser. Thursday is the whiskey tasting. Chris Stodgill is our official whiskey provider. He's been doing this now for a number of years. It raises some money for North Texas. We have a great time doing it, and we broadcast it. It's not a highfalutin, high quality broadcast, okay? But we do broadcast it. Again, we have fun. Death Angel, this account, branded account, can't get gift memberships. So if I want one, I got to pay for it. So if I did, I must like you. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And that support, to me, is literally priceless. Really, really is. Friday, Glenn and I are going to do a live stream. Again, don't know if any special guests. For sure we will. Saturday, Rach and I will probably do Gamers Health. We usually do. And then back to your regular videos. Sunday, I got home on Monday. We'll figure it out. Yeah, the membership cards are going to be a lot of fun. And again, I'm going to send them out for free to anybody who's been a member for a couple of months. They're nice. It's going to have the... it's going to be based upon the artwork that's the banner on the blog right now. So it's going to be based upon... Here, I'll put this in the chat there for a second. All right, so the front's going to have the artwork that's currently the banner at the tavern. And then on the back side, it's going to have the YouTube channel, the blog, website, and your number. And yes, numbers are going to start at 1 and proceed from there. I am going to go and issue the earliest numbers to those who have been members for the longest and move it on from there. But I just think it's a lot of fun. And now, if you've been a member for I don't know, well, depends on the member level and the time, I'm going to be doing magnets. Anything I can send out, preferably internationally without costing an arm and a leg, I'm going to try to put into the tchotchke box. Maybe not magnets, maybe stickers. I will see. Magnets might be... I can ship them in the U.S. on an issue, it might be too heavy for international. I'm gonna have to do. I gotta see how big these little things are, but that's the idea. To give a little back to the people that support this channel. I need a feltothraxis emoji. You know, you're probably right. Oh, that reminds me. I got to make sure I pack him for North Texas so I can abuse the hell out of people. Walk around with the hand puppet. Felto. I'm losing my voice. I can't lose my voice before North Texas. Where would we be if I had no voice before North Texas? But yes, a feltothraxis emoji would be nice. I mean, I experimented with doing YouTube videos early on. It's just that I never stuck with it until this round. If I remember to pack him, Matt, yes. If I remember to pack him, which reminds me, I should get him ready. Oh, he's got to be in the pile here. All right, I gotta dig him out. But do I have much planned for the con? I'm actually in a couple of games. I'm in a Dragon Slayer game with Greg Gillespie, so that should be interesting. Ham radio YouTubers, ham tuber buddies have their own stickers and magnets. Yeah, I'm gonna work on. I was trying to get a print on demand store that would link to my YouTube channel, but that's been hung up for the last 2 weeks. So I don't know what's going on with that. Let me just double check. I don't think it's. Yeah, no. So I don't know. We'll see. If not, I'll worry about it later on this month when I'm done with my cons and I can refocus my energies on Blades and Arcana and more content for this channel. You know, there are times when I've got videos in mind, and even though I've got a live stream that day, I throw out the video. And then there are days that it's just going to be a live stream. Like I think at North Texas, you might get a little bit of both because you'll probably get my con acquisitions. And by the way, I don't travel much in the way with books to be signed or books to be played with if I fly. I am flying this time, so I try to fly as light as can be because I got to bring a laptop with me and my iPad. So and clothes. So I try to fly with as little as possible. And but when I'm driving, my other cons are all drivable cons. That's a New York con. It's drivable. Um, I can bring more. I can overstuff because I'm not carrying it through an airport. But Flint, good to see you, sir. Are you ready for Texas, man? Are you ready? Are you ready for the good times? Because I mean, and honestly, if you're gonna be at North Texas, you're gonna learn how to drink, or at least hang out with the drinkers. Because as the day goes on, people start migrating to the bar or outside the bar. Some people do bring their own liquor. I'm not saying. I don't think. I think the hotel looks down on that. So, Death Angel is hard to tell which hobby is more expensive: ham radio or tabletop. I'm cutting back on crowdfunding projects that I'm supporting, and even then, I'm supporting way too many. You know, Flint says he's ready to rock and roll. All right, so Uh, Little secret to North Texas. There's only if you don't have a car, you are at the mercy of your fellow gamers, which shouldn't be a problem. I never have a problem, but most people don't have a problem. You'll usually find somebody who's willing to go with you somewhere. But the only thing in walking distance uh, from the hotel, food wise, is a Denny's. Ate there once. I think Rach got sick. Um, it's a Denny's, and it's not like the apex of Denny's. It's like the butt crack of Denny's. So just putting things in perspective for you. Oh, Flint says he's a designated driver. I'll walk people back to their room. Okay. Chad, welcome. Oh, all right. Happy graduation party. That's right. That's the time of the year. But the food trucks at North Texas are spot on. That's number one. And supporting the food trucks supports the con. Now, the restaurant slash bar is not bad, but big old but it can get overwhelmed. So if you're going to go there for lunch on like Thursday or Friday, it's going to be fine. But the weekend, it may be rough. The breakfast buffet or spread or whatever you want to call it is not free unless you're a Marriott's super buster or you pay the listen. The breakfast food truck, amazing sandwiches to die for, in my humble opinion. It's at a Marriott, and it's actually a nice venue. It holds. You don't feel overly crowded with 500 plus con attendees. So don't feel like oh my god. No, it's good for that size. Last year, I think they actually also, in addition to us, they also had one of the airlines sending their flight stewards or stewardesses, flight attendants through their training. So you saw them every morning. They were coming back every evening. Yeah, the breakfast spread isn't worth the $30 a day. I'll say that. I'd rather get a sandwich from their Starbucks kiosk. They get the catered food. The food trucks are top notch. The breakfast one, there's a barbecue one that comes around lunchtime. Uh, they do good money. They are clean. I've heard nobody get any kind of food poisoning from any of them, and they just do great business. The worst part of the food trucks is standing outside in the Texas heat, waiting for your food. Just putting that into perspective. Okay, so Flint brings up another part. You can have food catered to your table, and I think they'll even do the food trucks, but certainly from a restaurant. And the ladies work on tips. They are the wenches, the serving wenches. It's not an offensive term in this case. And they are also often sponsored. They will wear shirts that they are sponsored by uh, this vendor or that vendor. So it's really, really well done. And it's very community. Agile Monk, that's why one con I wanted, one con I went to, I only scheduled two things. So I could actually see and experience connecting with people. Yeah, my one Gen Con was 8 o'clock in the morning to like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night. nonstop gaming. So you ate breakfast beforehand and you waited dinner at like 11 o'clock. Never again. My first North Texas, I fell into a similar pattern and I filled my days up. And by my Saturday night, I was done. I couldn't do anymore. So this for me is a lot of my schedule. I probably will have to print out my schedule because I'll never remember it. But I actually have things on my schedule and things to go to. Saturday afternoon, you have the main auction, and it's in a tiered. I don't know, not a conference. Well, I guess a conference room. But it's tiered seating. Probably sits about 150. Um, Even if you don't plan on bidding on a lot of stuff is going to be outside of your range anyway. It's outside of my range. It is a great time. Go there with a little glass of water or soda, sit back and enjoy the show. I like to sit in the last row. The acoustics are great, and the last row, I get to see everything. I am people observing. I will bid on some stuff, but I'm people observing. Uh, the midnight auction, Saturday night. Bad Mike and his Devilettes. Great time. I may be involved. Usually, I'm involved on a skit here or there. It's just a great time. That you'll have things that you can afford to uh, bid on. So, all right. So about the Texas Heat in 2014, our first North Texas, we went to the wrong hotel. Uh, yeah, there was a hotel north, a hotel south. We went to the wrong one, and we knew we were in the wrong one because, well, they had like marble floors and pillars and shit. And I was like, that can't be right. So we got a cab to take us from one hotel to the other, and the cab we got happened to have a Russian Jew from Brooklyn who was like, "You're from New York? What are you doing here? Who comes to Texas in June?" Because he was the following week going back to New York to drive a cab for 3 or 4 months. Because he goes, Texas is too damn hot. So, yes, Texas is hot. But now there's a reason why. And if you ask Bad Mike or you ask Gary, they'll tell you flat out why is North Texas the first weekend of June? Well, it's the first weekend of June because it's cheaper. Flat out, it's cheaper. Why is Gary Con in the middle of the fucking winter? It's cheaper. When you can get a venue, when it's cheaper for you as the con organizer, it's cheaper for your attendees. Goes both ways. Flint, are tickets still available for the auction? Midnight auction, I believe so. Whiskey tasting, I have no idea. I don't know. I am like one of the performers, so I don't need a ticket. And rates usually sipped from my whiskey. So, but when you get there, ask Bad Mike or ask Gary. But the whiskey tasting is fun. The German year was not. German whiskeys are not something I want to repeat. I also had pickle beer that year. So, what can I tell you? Um, so let's see. Other than that, so yeah. So next week will be a short turnaround for me. I come back on Monday. I'll be Glenn and I will probably, schedule permitting, try to do a daytime live stream Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, but then Friday I'm out again. Central New York Con and Central New York Con. God bless these guys. I'm there as a special guest. I got a hotel room for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, and Con's treating. So, I mean, that's again the blessing. I will never look at what I have in gaming as anything other than a blessing. So, Huntsville Ham Fest is in August in Alabama, probably for the same reason. Yep. Yeah, now Game Hole is right around October. It's still that's where the weather gets a little wacky because you can have the hot days, you can have the cold days. Uh, Philadelphia Area Game Expo. What was it? The first weekend after New Year's in January. TotalCon, February. ShireCon is late September in Connecticut. Beautiful. You get to see the changing of the colors. It's just a beautiful place to be. WizardCon. WizardCon late April. And what is it about WizardCon? Well, again, that's not prime. It's on the cusp. You can have really cold weather. It's kind of like that late October stuff, right? It's on the cusp. It's the wacky weather time. So, I mean, I think Central New York Con though got a good weekend. Oh, I like what they're doing. By the way, another pimp for Central New York Con is they're doing it. It isn't a Friday Saturday con. A lot of conventions that do 2 days are Friday Saturday, and instead they're doing Saturday Sunday. So if you're somebody who's working, you can get off work Friday night, drive up to the con, get your hotel room, and leave late Sunday. And you're not taking time off from work. Spot on. Matt, you're going to be at ChireCon. Awesome. That should be a lot of fun. I already got a hotel room. Not a hotel room, a Airbnb. Last year we stayed at the Locust. It was a bed and breakfast. It was nice. No complaints. The woman that ran it was very sweet, and the breakfast was good. But the year before, we had an Airbnb, and it was a 2-bedroom, and it was nice. It was spot on. It wasn't, and the place wasn't new. It's all you needed. So 2 years ago, we shared it with Tom Rerolled and Tammy, and this year, Rob and his lovely bride are going to be our roomies. So I was like, oh my god, it's available. Let me grab it. Wasn't available last year, so I grabbed it then too. Death thing with my luck, if I went to Page or one of those northern cons, it'd probably be a blizzard. After 5 years in Tennessee, I'm just getting used to the little snow we do get. Well, that's Page in January and TotalCon in February. You got to roll the dice. You got to roll the dice. Flint, you're only 90 minutes from Huntsville. Huh. Buy a ham radio and start a new hobby. Dangerous, man. You're talking dangerous stuff. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Oh, man, my allergies are kicking. So, I will have a video up now tomorrow and Tuesday if you are a member, and most of you watching right now are members. The video will go up. You'll get an immediate notification. If you are a subscriber, you'll probably get a notification, but you won't be able to view it until later. Members do get little extra viewing time. Unless it's breaking news. Breaking news is what it is, right? If you're if you're going to cover newsworthy events, you don't hide them behind a paywall. I would certainly not do that. So, all right, folks. Add in a hamzine. I was at like it wasn't like 2600. Weren't they had like the weren't the hacker mags like almost like ham radio zines? Oh boy, conversation's going crazy. I tell you, it's going crazy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to bid you adieu. I'm going to make dinner for Rach and I. Then after dinner, I'm going to start packing. Because if I pack the last moment, what do? I forget stuff. And I hate forgetting stuff. And I may have to try to search for something, which I haven't been able to find for a couple of years, which I know was in a room behind other stuff. So, on that note, folks, thank you to Zach Laser, who is our main patron at the tavern. Um, and of course, Rory, who is now a patron of Gamers Health. Truly appreciated. Uh, as always, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. If you're going to North Texas, look me up. Find me. I'll be wandering around. Most of my time will be spent socializing. I'm there to see the community, not to be hidden away. So find me out. All right, folks. Thank you. God bless.